Hey everybody, Carl and Erynn here, and we're going to have fun on the mandolin with a wonderful tune from Alabama, Baby Ben. And it brings back good memories for me playing with James Bryan many years ago. One of the first times we went to a music camp, 1995. I remember it well. Port Townsend Festival of American Fiddle Tunes. This is the one we taught the band lab. So it's still in my memory bank somewhere, so we're going to try it right now for you. And we're going to think of it sort of back, what comes to me, three parts. And it's a really good improvising tune, one that fiddlers play for a long time and just do their own thing. So I hope it'll become a tune you do that with. And here we go, key of G. We'll do three parts, and I'll be going down the memory trail. Here we go.
That's right. James said that a lot of fiddlers in Alabama played this tune, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of great G tunes from Alabama, and this is one of them. So here we go.
All right.
Baby Ben. Thank you, Erynn. What a pretty tune. I feel better.
Beautiful.
I feel better.
love that tune. Were you feeling bad before?
No, I'm feeling even better than I
Just
did.
feel even better than you did.
I feel, yeah.
Me too.
So thanks so much. So we'll dig into those three parts, and we'll have a lot of fun. I think this is one that's a great one. If you had never played it before, I think you'll enjoy this for many years. I like to believe, as I have. So the first part. First of all, let's just look at our the chords for a second, as I like to do. It's just it's going to be a G chord for the first two measures. It goes to C, and I'm just using a little small slant, and a D chord. Just the open chords are great, and back to G. So one of the things you might do in just the chords is, of course, walk into your chords if you're on the low string. Right, you can just use that open bass strings and your small slant G. Maybe do a little 5 and 2, and then you can go down to that D big, like an open chord, or you can slide up to that. I think what I do is just do that open regular D chord, 2 and 2 on the outside string with the third string, kind of like a guitar player, the main bass and the alternate bass. So let's make our little backup just going like that. 4 and 3, and walk up to what I call a middle reach. 5 and 2, alternate the bass. So that'd be a good backup, just doing that right there. It would sound wonderful with the fiddler. And of course you can get more strummy, and of course you can look for those 2-string chords all over the place. I'm a big advocate of those, as you know, the slants and reaches. But let's get into the melody here. So we're starting out on the that little second string, 2, 3, 5, and they have a pickup on the third beat, so it's like 1, 2, 2, 3, 5. So let's just look at that little phrase there. So that's just a nice scaly, and of course the two main types of tunes, I guess, the way the melodies flow is right up and down the scale in some sequence or pattern, and then skipping notes as the chord or arpeggio. So this is really scaly beginning. So we're starting on the third notch of scale. It's just a B, C, D. So you go 2, 3, 5, 5, 7, 5, right down the scale to that G. And we're going to have an open G string there. So finish. Let's do that a couple times. 1, go. Little finger. And also, of course, when you get to the 7th fret, that E note, you could hit the open E string, or you could use your little finger. And the thing is, the open string is going to ring more, so a lot of people like to use the same string and a little finger note to have a consistent tone. So they're both good. So let's try it one more time. The first phrase of Baby Ben, the first part. 1, go. And then that's going to lead you to a nice little flutter that James does on the low string from 2 to 4. You're anchoring that A note as the 2nd fret, and you do a little hammer to 4 and pull back off to 2. A little triplet. So 2, 4, and 2. 2, 4, 2 with a hammer pull off and open. And that's going to take us to a little C chord, the open 3rd string with a hammer. So let me do those two phrases together so you can hear that G phrase going to the arrival of the C phrase. It sounds like this. 1, go. Okay, so let's just try that little, the little flutter. 2, 4, 2, hammer and pull off, open G, and the 3rd string hammer to 2. You wait. 2. And another thing for your right hand, I'm going on the up beats, I'm picking, up, and the down beats, I'm picking down. So it's going to be like the phrase hammer, 2, 3, 4, and my pick will be down, down, up, down. Okay? And that's going to take us to our D phrase. Let me do those two together and see if you can get that G to the C phrase. So 1, go. Flutter, C phrase, down, up, down. Beautiful. That's that C chord arrives right on that hammer to the 2, and you could put a small slant C in there if you want. And we get more, as you get the melody going on this, you might want to do a little more back and forth noting, on the long phrases, as the mandolin's tremolo is the counterpart to the fiddle's bow, of course. So the D phrase is nice. It's going to come up a lot in here with a little variation. You're climbing up to a bluesy kind of note on the 2nd string, open to that. So let's just find that a few times. So, and remember, anytime you have an open string, you can always use some unisons on the 7th fret. So right now we're just going to do the 2nd string, open 2, 3, and you got a longer note. You wait there, and then you go 2, 3, 2, open, 5, 4. Okay, I'll do that a few times. Here's the D phrase. Come in on that 3rd beat. 1, go. Kind of bluesy. Back and forth. Okay, one more time. 1, go. There's your D phrase on the first part. Good. Now here's how that falls off. You have a lot of different ways, as James plays this a lot of different ways, and good musicians and good fiddlers in particular vary it, infinite ways. So there's a lot of ways to do these phrases. So with timing and note choices. So the end of that D phrase is going to go the red string note. So 4, open, 4, 2, and open on the 3rd string. Then down to that 5th fret, the bluesy note low, 5, 4, and a little back and forth. So let me do the whole D phrase for you here. 1, go to D phrase. You could do a little slide. Okay, that's the whole first part. I'm going to do the whole first part for you. And just really think about if you're playing a lot of melodies these days and hadn't done much chord work, it's good to kind of know what chords are behind your melody, because then you can kind of shift into that backup mode, and I'm a big proponent of that, as you know. So here's the whole first part one time through, and just think about the G phrase, the C phrase, and the D phrase, and we wind up back to G. So 1, go. Flutter, hammer, down, up, down. The D phrase coming up. That 3rd fret, back and forth. Starting over here. Repeat. We're going to have a second inning coming up in a minute. The flutter, getting you to that C chord note. The D phrase. Second inning on the tab. So that last phrase, the ending phrase, is working that third string. And if you just did a G scale, it'd be on top of the scale. You know, a G scale. So you're coming up on that open 2, 4, and 5 with a little bounce from 4. Little bounce. And then you have that 5 and a little finger. Again, to get that smooth tone. So the whole first part one more time with the repeat. And then we'll go on to the second part. So that's great. And you'll find this falls into place pretty nice and won't be that hard to get in your head, I don't think, and in your fingers. 1, 2. D phrase. 5, slide to 4, back and forth little phrase. Starting again, repeat. Phrase. Second ending. There you go. Now the second part is again scaly again, gets in some of the same territory, but now we're working that low string 4, 5, and as a fiddler would love, you could slide to 7. So the 7th fret on the mandolin and fiddle or violin is the same, a unison, the same note on 2 strings. So we're going 4, 5, 7, and you have a pause. Let's try that a few times. So again, it's coming in on that the third beat. So you go, your G note was ringing for a couple beats. So you go 1, 2, 4, 5, slide to 7, and you wait. And the same rhythm, that down, up, down. Then we get into a beautiful little phrase here. We're going to go up to the 2nd fret. So there's our. Getting us to the G, getting to a C. So we get a little different move there. Similar, but so here's that 2nd fret, 2, 3, 2, open, all the way down to the E note, and takes us to C chord. So let me do that much. Second part starting. And again on those 8th notes, I'm down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Just tick-tock those notes there. So one more time on the start of the second part. It's coming on the third beat. 1, 2, up to 7, and you wait. And that nice little pretty scale. And here we're going to do a little outline, a little C chord here. And you can stay there and go bum, 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 bum. But I think James often, as I think Erynn does on the fiddle some, to show some of his variations, goes down to an arpeggio. A C arpeggio. So it's 2 on the 3rd string, the E, C on the 5th fret low, open G, you pick that 3rd finger off, put it back down, and go back up. And you can do a hammer again, so. Okay, so that's the C phrase. I'll do those 2 again, the G phrase to the C phrase. Then we're going to be back in the same territory for our D phrase, maybe with a little variation. So, second part, 1, go. C arpeggio and our little hammer. Beautiful. Now we're going to go up to that same. This time instead of going back to this 2, I think sometimes James will go up to the 5th fret. Almost the same thing. Instead of going, you can go up to the 5th fret and just pauses. Okay, so that's going to be the D phrase, and we're going to get a little different. Instead of going down to that, anyway, listen to the D phrase on the second part. Phrase a few times. So here's I'll do it a little more timing better for you. So, and it goes back and forth. So that's better. One more time. A little slower. Going to repeat that. So here's the whole second part, and we're going to have a second ending, which is about the same as the first part. So here's the whole second part. So again, it's in the same territory. Just get used to that kind of slow moving and a mellow tune, that I think you'll find falls in the fingers pretty good, like I said. So 1, 2, second part. Pretty down to that C arpeggio and a hammer. The D phrase, this time with 5 above. Little slide, working that. Start again. Second part. Wait. C arpeggio. Same ending, I think. So we have the same ending for both parts. And again, you can do different ways just to get to that G. You'll find yourself varying that as you play this a little bit. So the last part gets kind of exciting and a little bluesy. It goes up on the high strings. In the mandolin, we could do some 2-string chords. But what James does, he starts up on the 7th fret. So you start up on that. I'm shifting on the mandolin, I'm shifting from first finger to the 3rd fret. And I'm stretching up 3rd finger 7, 2nd finger 5. So that's my first little thing. 7, 5, 3, open. Then we're going to start a little phrase. That's a little lead in. That's our pickup coming in on that. And when we get there, you're going to go hold that 3 down as an anchor, and you're going to have like you can either keep it going or let's go ahead and keep going like. So we're going to go 3, 5, 3, open, 3, 5, 3, 5, slide to 7. Twice. Let me just do that. So that's the cool. Let's just work on that phrase. That's the exciting phrase. Kind of peps it up a little bit. Go, whoa, look out. Baby Ben's getting out there and getting a little wild. So here we go. 1, 2. Slide. Okay, that's our G phrase. As now we're going to tail off and go 5, 7, 5, 3. And slide down on the 2nd string to our unison. 7 with the open first, 3 on the C note. Let me just do that much. That's getting us to C. So 1, 2. There's our G to C phrase. It's beautiful. So one more time. 1, 2. Slide, 3, 5, 3. Beautiful. Then we're going to go up our D phrase. But again, we're in the scale aspect of it. We're a little higher up in the chord instead of going to that. We're going up. So nice and scaly. Again, in the middle is kind of where Baby Ben started. In G, you're up there in the D chord. The first string, 2, 3, 5. And that little finger added down to the D. Okay? Try that a few times. Little finger. And you change that 5th fret 2nd string. And I love this part here. You're going to have 7, 5, and then you're going to slide to 2 on the 2nd string. 2, 5, 7, 5, 7. And you can do a lot of things there. You could, a lot of things, but so it's going to be that D phrase. And you're going to start over there. So let me do the whole 3rd part one time through where we are now. So 1, 2. Repeat. And James often might, or just the fiddler might want to do climb up and go down like that. Then you might some kind of fall down there, was what I hear people do a lot of times. And you're back to the first part. So anyway, let me do the whole tune for you one more time, each part, and I think you'll get in the ballpark there. And play the backup some, and just as you play it, get the basic outline here, and then you can go from there. So Baby Ben, all 3 parts there with the repeats there, one last time there. And go along and play with the fiddle videos. Eryn's doing a little different stuff, but this should work. And try the backup chords too, and on the banjo video, all the stuff. Just kind of try them all out and see where you wind up. So 1, 2. Beautiful. And remember, you can hit some drones there on phrases. So I love the low string on a G mandolin, is a G and a G tune. It's nice. Like a banjo player uses that short fifth string as a drone. The mandolin can use that a low G string sometimes when you're playing a lot G tune. So anyway, enjoy Baby Ben, and I think you'll find that it'll be one of your favorites with a little bit of time there. I sure have enjoyed it for many, many years. So take care and pick a bunch whenever you get the chance.